If you watch The Pitt, you might have noticed how real it feels. Medical professionals have praised the show for getting the details right, from the pacing to the procedures to the way the trauma team communicates.
Welcome to The Pitt.
We got 2 traumas from the T, 5 minutes out.
It kind of nails what life in an emergency room actually feels like. But there's another layer of realism at work, and it's one that's so subtle, you might have missed it. It's the music, or more specifically, the complete lack of it. And that's not a mistake. That's the point. The Pitt's decision to cut music entirely isn't just bold, it's kind of brilliant. Let's talk about how it hits. Music in TV and film does a lot of heavy lifting. It tells us how to feel, when to feel it, and in some cases, it tells us what to feel even when literally nothing is happening.
You have to sit down and talk. You guys are involved.
It's an incredibly powerful tool, and without it, some of film's most iconic scenes become, well...
Come, Josephine, my flying machine going up, she goes.
So yeah, music matters. A lot. But that doesn't mean it's the only way to make a moment hit. Sometimes, pulling the music out entirely can be just as powerful. Like in the Coen brothers' 2007 film No Country for Old Men, the coin toss scene becomes unbearably tense, not because of a score, but because of the complete absence of one.
What's the most you ever lost on a coin toss?
Sir?
The most you ever lost on a coin toss.
So, music is important, and no music is important too. Most films and TV shows use a mix of both, and it's the contrast, the way they play off each other, that gives a story its emotional shape. Which brings us back to The Pitt, a series that says, screw the contrast, give me silence.
I got their daughter killed. This is not your fault.
And it works. The result is a raw, unnerving realism that's totally unique.
We got skills!
Well, mostly unique. If you're thinking, wait, haven't other shows done this before? Well, yeah, kind of. David Simon's The Wire is a great example.
If I hear the music, I'm gonna dance.
It was a show known for its minimal use of music that let scenes breathe, and it avoided big dramatic scores. But even The Wire still used music, just sparingly.
Say what?
It had a theme song. It also had diegetic music in scenes, like what characters were listening to on the radio. And every season ended with a signature musical montage to wrap things up emotionally. The Pitt, on the other hand, goes even further. Aside from the occasional low, droning sound design, what you're hearing is pure, unfiltered audio, and it pushes past the restraint of shows like The Wire into something even more stripped down. So, what happens when you get rid of the music? Without strings swelling or percussion building, there's nothing signaling, this is sad, or this is exciting.
This place will break your heart.
Instead, the show leans into the natural rhythm of the ER itself. The sounds of the room, the monitors, the footsteps, the commands from the doctors become the cadence. And in many cases, the medical jargon functions like a kind of score.
Drop down the T-tracks. Couldn't tube them, LMA in place.
So is that
You might not understand every single term, and that's the point. What matters is the urgency, the precision, the intensity of how the doctors speak.
Until you rest?
Down to 89.
Wait, I've got it.
East side's coming up.
And the show's real-time format plays a huge role in making this possible. Each episode represents an hour of the shift, which means the editing has to follow that. There isn't room for montages or long transitions. There isn't even a title sequence. Moments where music can often play a big part in storytelling. But here's the thing. None of this would land if the writing wasn't airtight.
So fucking what? We all have that. That is what happens when you're in a war and nothing makes sense. Well, we survived as a species because we learned how to cooperate and communicate. So when we're in the middle of killing each other, it defies the very logic of our existence. Your brain starts to short circuit.
You can only strip the music away if the story is strong enough to carry that weight on its own. The dialogue has to be sharp enough, the characters layered enough, and the world real enough that we don't need a score nudging us towards emotion. Music can often step in when the writing needs a push, but The Pit doesn't need a push. That kind of confidence only works when the foundation is solid. Every beat has to matter. Every pause has to earn its place, and without music to do the emotional lifting, the script has to leave space for us to feel things on our own. And it does. Because sometimes the quietest choice is the loudest one. So, did you like this video? Let us know in the comments, and if you want to watch more How It Hits, don't forget to like and subscribe.